Okay, this is Nolan Miller doing Artifact Review 3 for Group 18 in SER 402. So these last 2 weeks have kind of fallen in between two sprints for us. So we just finished Sprint 3 and have moved on to Sprint 4 here. In Sprint 3, we just kind of looked at finishing up, polishing the first environment, which is an Arctic scene. We were going to add more realistic animals and terrains and some weather, and then just try to finalize that. We didn't actually end up finishing the scene, so we have like kind of added that into Sprint 4. We kind of ran into some issues, but we did get some nice stuff added there. We were also planning on beginning development of the iOS app, and then we kind of touched up and remodeled the Android app. And then in Sprint 4, this will run until March 1st. Our goal is kind of to finish the first scene, again, the Arctic scene, and get a good prototype of the full application kind of running so we can send it to our sponsor and give her a good first look of the application, what we have so far. So really we would like to get some good character movement in there, which we haven't done a ton of yet. Maybe add just a few more nice little details to the scene, and then just finalize the UI and get a last build out of Unity into the Android project so she can see where we're at. Let me go to our backlog, and actually let's just go to the task board for Sprint 4 so you can kind of see what we've got going here, kind of making the game, so it doesn't end. We'll loop it until the user exits rather than play once. We're going to add some sound effects to some bodies, add more to the environment, sprites and characters, tents and wood, maybe like little fires, rocks, stuff like that. We need to finish up the main character movement. Right now it's kind of spotty. The camera zooms out a little bit and just looks a little awkward, so we need to make that a little better. We did some research on publishing an app to the Android market, and that's finished already. And then we're building our current state of the project and getting that in Android Studio, and that's also pretty much finished at this point. It needs to do some testing to make sure it's working on everyone else's systems, but it should be good. Other than that, we decided against doing iOS with our sponsor, just because of the developer fee and where we're at. I think it's kind of more important to focus on building clean and good-looking scenes. Since we're trying to use this app for pain management, they need to be the big aspect of this project is the VR component, and we think it's good to just get that on Android. It's a cheaper developer fee, and just get that working so that people can use it. If we're spending too much time on the iOS app, we're not going to have as good of an environment for them to use, and I think that's the more important aspect of this project. So moving on, we can come over here and see where we're at in the UI and where the scene is at currently. I'll probably have to pause the video when I run the scene because it takes a minute to load up, but that'll be right. So here's the home menu. The app's called Flight, which we actually just recently added a name. We've got a scene, scenes, a settings, and an about page. So let's just move on. We'll go scenes first. So our scenes actually, if we can just get the design view here. So our scenes has a little scroll where you'll be able to scroll through all the scenes. Right now, as I said, we're just working on the Arctic scene called Winter Wonderland. So for now, that's all that's going to be done, but the plan is to just get that finished up. And then there's a little temporary placeholder so you can see how this scrolling works. The about page here just kind of talks a little bit about what the application is, what it's for, who created it. And then we have a settings menu, which will just let people adjust the music and sound effects. From maybe. There we go. Before they actually enter the virtual reality component. And in the scenes menu, to start up the scene, you just click on this little icon here. So let me pause the video for a second. I'll show you how that works. Alright, so here we can see the app actually running in the emulator. So this is what it would look like on a phone. It's a little choppy. I don't know why my computer's being so slow today. But yeah, so you can see we've added snow. It's hard to see from this view because we obviously don't have goggles on, but yeah, we've added snow. There's some new textures on the snow down here. We've got snowflake falling, and then at the end of this, once it flies around, it attaches to a penguin, and that penguin will start walking around the scene. That's another thing we're working on in this sprint, is getting the main character, that penguin that we're following, getting that route finalized, so that it takes the player around to each part of the map so they can see all the different groups of characters and stuff, see the pond, see these mountains and stuff. So that's another big part of this sprint. So that is our artifact review for sprint 3 and the beginning of sprint 4 so far. Thanks.